Hi, this is the Pegboard Harp Lab. You will be getting some pegboards that are shaped like this, and you'll have sets so you can have students work in small groups. I would advise having kids work, depending how big your class is, from 2 to 3 kids in a group, and I would suggest when you put them in groups, you find out who knows how to tie knots and who doesn't. So this is not necessarily where you're going to put some low, mediums, highs. This is all about tying knots because that will be what you will need to have a good knot tier in each group. So let me talk about how we're going to set it up, and then I will talk about what all the cool activities you can do with these. So you are going to be getting different weights of fishing line. If you have not fished before, different heavinesses of lines are used depending what kind of fish you're planning on catching. So it has to do with the thickness of the fishing line. So there's different widths of fishing line. And you will be getting an eye bolt, well, lots of eye bolts, and a nut and washers. So the way that you're going to put this together is you're going to put a washer on the eye bolt, put it through the hole, put another washer, and then put the nut on the end. Then you're going to have students tie onto this and tie into this. But I'm going to show you there's 3 different things you can do with this. So my suggestion would be on day 1 that you do the first activity. And then on day 2, you can break them into groups, and you can have some groups investigate tension and some groups investigate thickness. And then you can have them swap their boards so they don't have to actually create all of these. It's a good time saver. Okay, so the first thing you're going to do is have them just tie one string on. And once they tie one string on, I want you to have them experiment with turning these bolts, and it's going to change the tension, which will change the pitch. So just with one string, hear that, and then we can loosen it. Too loose. Of course it came untied, but here's this one. You can change the tension. Okay, so you can hear that. Now the other thing you can have them do then, once they get one on, then talk about, well, what would happen if our strings are different lengths? So you're going to have them create this kind of board, and if you look in your lesson materials, it will give you examples of all of this. So let me tie this one on real quick. Okay, so for this first demonstration, we're really talking about string length, so you want the tension to be about the same for all of them. So just have them, and they're just kind of eyeballing this, it's not going to be an exact science, but you can have them then listen as they do the short string and get longer, and they're going to probably say, I can't hear the difference. Well, we can use a ruler as a bridge, and that's going to change everything. So they're going to slide the ruler under the strings, which will actually cause them all to get a little tighter and will help the whole thing to be a little louder. So you're going to put this up like this, and now, short to long, you can hear the pitch changing. And there's a recording sheet actually that they are going to use where they can talk about what the length of the string is so they can measure how long it is from this bolt to where you've tied it here, and then talk about describing whether it's lower or higher in pitch. Okay, and so day 2, you would have them, like I said, you break the class into 2 different groups and either have them create a board that has 4 different, this is all the same string, and you're going to do different tensions. So you could put them all on loosely, and then you can crank one, like 1 turn, 1 2 turns or 3 turns, 1 5 turns, 1 7 turns. I recommend using the 30 weight one, because if you use the skinny ones, they tend to break. So they can investigate tension that same way. They can use the ruler to make it louder. And then this one is the different thicknesses. So I think I have a 10, a 20, a 30, and a 50, and you'll be getting those in your kit. So I did from 10 to 20 to 30 to 50. What I would recommend with this as far as procedurally, give them the 10. Once they have it tied on, have either a materials collector come get the 20 from you, or you go around and just be sort of checking on the ones that are doing this thickness one so that you can make sure that they're getting them in the proper order, because once you've passed them out, they all look the same. So you need to make sure that you give them to them one by one. And the same thing here, you can slide underneath, and they can record this, and this will be the beginning of our talks about pitch and what things change pitch.